all my brothers and sisters. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح ربي زدني علما. Okay, so today I'm just gonna tell you guys, while I'm reading the Quran, I'm gonna tell you guys which words we have to read it thicker. Most of the people, when they read the Quran, the words that is read thicker, they most of the time read it like really softly. So I'll just let you know which are the words that you have to read it thicker. Because if you don't read it thicker, if you read it thin or you read it softly, what happens is that the meaning gets changed. Like you see is qalb means heart with qaf, that thick qaf, the dot qaf, it means heart. But if you read it kalb, now kalb means a dog in Arabic. So you see the difference, how the difference is qalb and kalb. Kalb, kaf, lam, ba means a dog, but qalb means heart. So I'll just show you guys how is this. So you guys know that how important tajweed is. I hope you guys can see. It's qalb with a qaf. Okay, this means heart. And kaf with a kaf, this means a dog. So you see how the meaning gets changed when you change the makharij, or when you change the word. If you have to read it thicker, means you need to read it thicker. Okay, and the words that you have to read it softly, you need to read it softly. You cannot change it by yourself. And these are the really major mistakes what people do. And it's just because they say that, oh, we're just reading the Quran. Reading Quran is a really it's a really big good deed. But if you don't read it right, this will change into something else. This won't become a good deed, because of course the meanings are getting changed. So of course, definitely what is going to happen is that you're reading it wrong. Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Shaitan. Now some people is like أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Now it's not shaita, it's not ta, it's ta. Okay, so this is the common mistake which people do. It's shaitan, because this ta and the other ta has a difference. Now ta, this ta and the ta with the two dots, and the ta with you can see this shape of the ta. This and this are different. Ta is read thicker and ta is read just simply ta, okay, with the two dots. So whenever you read the Quran, just be careful while you're reading, and you just take out the thicker words properly. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Bismillah. Now Bismillah. Now some people read it Bismillah. Bismillah. Now Seen has a sound of a whistle, like that. Bismillah. Okay. Now some people just read it Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and they just go Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It's not Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It's Bismillah ha. Okay, this ha that comes from the throat. The words that comes from the throat, you need to take it out from the throat. You just can't just read it from the mouth. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ha. So try to practice these makharij, because it's really important. While you're reading the Quran, do not just read the Quran like you just because of course Arabic is not our language, our native language. So we have to work on it as hard as we can, because Arab, they have their language. Like it's easy for them, because it's their daily routine, and the way they take out the makharij, they do take it out not only by reading the Quran, it's just by when they're talking to each other. So these are the things which you have to follow. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وهذا صراط ربك مستقيما. صراط صاد. um, صراط صاد. Okay, صاد, this is red thicker. صاد. صراط ربك مستقيما. قاف. Okay, you have to read that thicker too. مستقيما. قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يذكرون. لهم دار السلام عند ربهم وهو وليهم بما كانوا يعملون. Now, whenever there is meme silent and after that there is ba, you have to do ikhfa over here. Meme silent. After that there is ba, you have to do ikhfa here. وليهم, you have to take the sound of the meme into the nose. وليهم بما كانوا يعملون. وهو يحشرهم جميعا يا معشر الجن قد استكثرتم من الإنس وقال أولياؤهم من الإنس ربنا استمتع بعضنا ببعض وبلغنا أجلنا الذي أجلت لنا قال النار مثواكم خالدين فيها إلا ما شاء الله إن ربك حكيم عليم. وكذلك نولي بعد الظالمين بعدا بما كانوا يكسبون. يا معشر الجن والإنس ألم يأتكم رسل منكم يقصون عليكم آياتي يقصون عليكم آياتي وينظرونكم لقاء يومكم هذا قالوا شهدنا على أنفسنا وغرتهم الحياة الدنيا وشهدوا على أنفسهم أنهم كانوا كافرين. ذلك أن لم يكن ربك مهلك القرى بظلم وأهلها غافلون ولكل درجات مما عملوا وما ربك بغافل عما يعملون وربك الغني ذو الرحمة إن يشأ يذهبكم ويستخلف من بعدكم ما يشاء كما أنشأكم. Okay, now noon silent. After that there's sheen from haruf ikhfa. Okay, so noon silent. After that there's sheen from haruf ikhfa. So keep this in mind that whenever there is noon silent, noon sakin, after that there is haruf from haruf ikhfa. So what are we gonna do is we're gonna be doing ikhfa. We're gonna taking that sound of this nose, this noon into the nose. See, sha'akum min again. Dal is from haruf ikhfa. Dal. Keep this in mind. Keep these haruf in mind, and whenever it comes again and again in the Quran, then you will have to practice. If you learn the rule, like you just learn the rule that haruf ikhfa is this, but you don't practice it. So what happened is this, that you forget the rules. Like once there will be a time while you're reading the Quran, you will forget the rules. Rules is remembered when you keep on remembering them while you're reading the Quran. Even if you read like one or two ayah, what happens is that like if you read this ayah, like I'm reading وَرَبُّكَ الْغَنِيُّ ذُو الرَّحْمَةِ. Okay, now you see that what rules do I have to follow in this part? Okay, so you see ra wa rabb, ra, you have to read a thicker. Wa rabbuka al-ghani, ghain, you have to read a thicker. Ghaniyu dhur rahma, ra, you have to read a thicker again. Ha, you have to take out that ha from the halq. Okay, so these things you need to practice this again and again while reading the Quran. It's just not about the rules. It's not about like you just read the rule from the qaida and you just like memorize them. This is haruf halki, this is haruf qalqala, this is ikhfa, here I have to do idgham. But when you read the Quran, while reading the Quran, you just see that okay, in this ayah I have to follow these rules, in the other ayah I have to follow the other rules. So what happens is that when you don't know the rule, you just look after the qaida and you just memorize that rule once again. So that's how you will never ever forget the rules. And you will keep on following the rules, and you will be getting better and better in the rules. Okay, now yudhib, hib, ba. You see there's qalqala here. قطب جد حروف قلقلة قطب جد. This is the مخفف of that حروف. Keep this in mind. Whenever there's حروف قلقلة, you need to do a bouncing sound. إن يشأ يذهبكم ويستخلف من بعدكم ما يشاء كما أنشأكم من see. Again, there is noon silent. After that, there is zal from haruf ikfa. So we're going to be doing ikfa. We're going to taking the sound of this noon into the nose. من ذرية قوم آخرين إنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين أنتم بمعجزين قل يا قوم اعملوا على مكانتكم إني عامل فسوف تعلمون من تكون له عاقبة الدار إنه لا يفلح الظالمون وجعلوا لله مما ذرأ من الحرث والأنعام نصيبا فقالوا هذا لله بزعمهم وهذا لشركائنا فما كان لشركائهم فلا يصل إلى الله وما كان لله فهو يصل إلى شركائهم ساء ما يحكمون وكذلك زين لكثير من المشركين قتل أولادهم شركاؤهم ليردوهم وليلبسوا عليهم دينهم ولو شاء الله ما فعلوه فذرهم وما يفترون وقالوا هذه أنعام وحرث حج لا يطعمها إلا من نشاء بزعمهم وأنعام حرمت ظهورها وأنعام لا يذكرون اسم الله عليها افتراء عليه سيجزيهم بما كانوا يفترون وقالوا ما في بطون هذه الأنعام خالصة لذكورنا ومحرم على أزواجنا وإن يكن ميتة فهم فيه شركاء سيجزيهم وصفهم إنه حكيم عليم قد خسر الذين قتلوا أولادهم سفها بغير علم وحرموا ما رزقهم الله افتراء على الله قد ضلوا وما كانوا مهتدين وهو الذي أنشأ جنات معروشات وغير معروشات والنخل والزرع مختلفا أكله والزيتون والرمان متشابها وغير متشابه كلوا من ثمره إذا أثمر وآتوا حقه يوم حصاده ولا تسرفوا إنه لا يحب المسرفين ومن الأنعام حمولة وفرشا كلوا مما رزقكم الله ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين 8 أزواج من الضأن 2 ومن المعز 2 قل الذكرين. Okay, now this word قل الذكرين. Okay. There's a big mud on Hamza. There is a big mud on Hamza. Okay, there's a big Hamza here. There's a big mud here and standing fathat as well. So what are we going to do is, when this situation comes, you need to stretch it more. Like, you know, the mud munfasil and the standing fatha. So قل الذكرين. You can see this over here. I don't know if it shows or not. This word. Inshallah, I'll be highlighting it for you guys. قل الذكرين حرم أم الأنثيين أم اشتملت عليه أرحام الأنثيين نبئوني بعلم إن كنتم صادقين. Okay, so there is one rule over here that, you know, whenever silent, jazm, and tashdid comes together, you know, when there is silent, the word is silent means to say that there is jazm on it. So we're going to connect it with the back of the word, right? Like you can say like minal baqari, minal baqari. So what is this? That lam has a jazm. So we need help from the back of the word. So the back of the word is noon. Noon has a fatha on it. And after that there is alif. So the empty alif, we don't read that. If there is no haraka on the word, we don't read that. So what are we going to do is we're going to connect it from the back of the word. This is one situation. And the other one is when there is jazm and tashdid, it comes together. So what are you going to do? Some people get confused, like especially when I'm teaching the kids. So, you know, they get confused that from which do we have to connect it? I mean, the jazm or the tashdid. So this is a very simple route. Whenever jazm and tashdid comes together and you need to connect it from the back of the word, what are you going to do is we're going to connect it from towards the tashdid letter, not the jazm. So we're not going to connect it to the jazm, but we're going to connect it to the tashdid word. I'll just give you an example. Yeah, see? I'll just give you an example. As you can see, ay yakuna, okay? It's here. As you can see, ay yakuna. Okay, see, noon, it's silent. And then there is ya, that has a tashdid on it. Let me just show you guys. Okay. Okay, you guys can see this noon has a jazm on it. And then there is ya that has a tashdid on it. So which one are we going to connect? Some people get confused over this. So we are going to connect this alif with the ya, mean to say with the tashdid one, with the tashdid haruf, now with the jazm one. Okay, so just keep this in mind and don't get confused over these things, because even though when I'm teaching the kids, what happens is they get confused sometimes that which one do I have to connect the back of the word, with the jazm one or with the tashdid one. So keep this in mind. You need to connect it with the tashdid one, not the jazm one. Okay, like you can say I. I'm not connecting it with the noon, that the jazm one. I'm connecting it with the ya. أي يكون. Okay. قل لا أجد فيما أوحي إلي محرما على طعام يطعمه إلا أن يكون ميتة أو دما مسفوحا أو لحم خنزير فإنه رجس أو فسقا أهل لغير الله به فمن استر غير باغ ولا عاد فإن ربك غفور رحيم. As I was doing one ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, as I was doing the rules, the translation and the explanation. So as it's Ramzan, so I'm just a bit busy nowadays, so I cannot, I'm not being to continue those things. So I was just saying that I'll just do it on live. So I'll do the next ayah, and inshallah I will record it and, you know, just download that video as well. Okay, so it was ثم بعثناكم من بعد موتكم لعلكم تشكرون. Okay, ثم ميم مشدد. You have to do غنة here. ثم بعثناكم kum. See, there's two memes together. Meme silent, and then there's meme mushaddad. There's meme silent, and then there is meme mushaddad. So what are we gonna do is, two memes are together. So we're going to be doing gunna over here. This is called idgham. We're going to connect both of the meme, and we're going to be doing gunna here. This is idgham ma'al gunna. Okay, so we're going to be doing gunna here. Meme silent, and after that there's another meme that has the tashdid on it. Both meme came together. So what are we going to do? We're going to be connecting those both memes, and we're going to be doing gunna over here. And this is called gunna ma'al idgham. بعثناكم kum. So the gunna, we usually do it from the mouth. We don't take it to the nose. Kum, not like that. Kum, okay? Kum mim ba'di. Now you see this noon in Quran. There's a jazm on it, and there's a small meme written on it. So what are we going to do is we're going to change that noon into meme. This is called iqlab, as we read this too. So these are the the tajweed rules. If you keep on keep on telling yourself, okay, this is iqlab, this is ikhfa, this is qalqala, you won't never be confused, because this is how I learned, and this is really the best way. Instead, you just first you just go to the qaida and you just memorize all the tajweed. What happens is that you just stay over there. When you open the Quran, you're so confused. What is ikhfa? What is qalqala? What is iqlab? You get so confused. So by reading like this, you will never get confused, and you can also teach your kids, and you can convey the Quran message and the tajweed to other people too. Okay, mim ba'di. It's not going to be min ba'di. It's mim ba'di. Why? Because we change the noon into the small little mim written on the noon. Mim ba'di mautikum la'allakum mautikum. Now, mim silent. We read this qaida. Mim silent. After that, there is haruf from any of besides mim and ba. So we're going to be doing izhar here. No guna, no ikhfa. Ba'dikum mautikum. Mautikum, not mautikum. Why? Because we read this qaida that after mim silent, if any of the haruf besides mim or ba comes from the haruf, 29 haruf, what are we going to do is we're going to be doing izhar, no gunna, no ikhfa. Just read it simple. Mautikum. Okay, mautikum, la'allakum tashkurun. Now, ta was also kum, mim silent. After that, there is ta. So this is also from the besides ba and mim, the other haruf of haruf, and the 29th haruf. Okay, so we're going to be reading it simple. No gunna, no ikhfa. Okay. Thumma ba'asnakum. Then ba'asnakum. We rose you, or we rise you. Ba'asnakum mim ba'di mautikum. Mim ba'di after. Mautikum, your death. What did we did? We raised you, or we alive you. What happened after your death? La'allakum tashkurun. So you will be grateful. La'allakum tashkurun. So you would be grateful. So now here, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, what happened was the story that was coming from behind. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam's people, the people who of the Bani Israel, what happens is that they were making excuses again and again that, you know what, we will not believe unless we don't see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala face to face. We will not believe. So what happened was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they were keep on doing the excuses. However, they saw everything. What happened with Musa alayhi salam, the sea parted, and all those big miracles, but still they were not believing Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. So what happened was a big scream came, and all the people were died. So now Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was really sad, and he was saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just make these people alive, because he need to return back with those people and tell them that and let them know that you guys are doing wrong. So what happens is that here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala return them to life once again. He give them life once again. However, this doesn't happen nowadays. If somebody is dead, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what happens is that does that person comes into life again? No, right? But this miracle happened that time, that those people came into life once again because of the dua of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. So what happens is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I did this because la'allakum tashkurun, that you become grateful. So this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them life once again, that they become grateful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could say that la'allakum tattaqun, or you can say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can say that la'allakum it's like if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could say that that you praise me, or you come back to me, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that you become grateful. So I think being grateful is the main that lesson which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us over here, that just be grateful. Whatever you have in your life, whatever you're doing, whatever is, just be grateful. So this is the lesson which we get from this ayah, that you should always be grateful over what you have, and do not just look over people like what they have, but look at yourself, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with. So be grateful on that, instead of like, if you look at somebody and you said, oh, look, he has such a nice car, he has such a nice house, he has such nice things, whatever blessing which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to them. And then you look at yourself and you're like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. This thing makes you like, ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I think these things we should try our best that, we just take these things out of our life and be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, it's not easy, I know that. Of course, as we are seeing dunya all the time, I mean, like, every time when we open our eyes and we look at the world, we're not seeing the world after this. We don't know the Jannat and the Jahannam and the whatever is going to happen in the grave. All these things we're not seeing it with our own eyes. I mean, we're just seeing the dunya. We open the eyes and we just see the worldly things and worldly, luxury and everything around us. As you can say, social media as well nowadays, it's like so much. Every day we wake up, we look at the phone, and I'm like, like, we're always like, we feel so low. I mean, people are showing their, like, like, we're eating this, we're going here, we're doing this. So what happened is this, that when we look at all those things, we feel so low. I mean, like, we're like, we don't have this, we can't go here, we can't do this. So I think the best way to avoid all these things, that we should avoid to watch all these things, because they make us ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we need to be more and more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to be more grateful to him. So inshallah, we'll be doing the next ayah tomorrow, inshallah. And this was 56 ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being so grateful to the people of Musa alayhi salam, to Bani Israel. He's being so nice to them. However, they are making so much excuses. They're making so much lame excuses. We won't believe Allah unless we don't see him. And then, even though they saw all the miracles, the sea parted and everything in front of their eyes, but still they're not, but still they don't believe it. So how bad? I mean, like, if we see some, like, like miracle, I don't know what would be doing that time. But um that time, I think, if you see some miracle, of course, I don't know what would we do, but as the people of Bani Israel, what they did, they saw everything, but still, they couldn't believe on Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. They couldn't believe on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How bad. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us on Sirat al-Mustaqim, where he wants us to be and how he wants us to be. I mean, we are trying our best every day. I mean, our every day should be like, try to be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Instead, just being closer to just to the people and to all these worldly things. I mean, we need to unless we're in this dunya, we need to use all these things. And even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if you have the blessings which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you, use them. It's not like, you just wear ripped clothes and you just like, I don't like this dunya. This is also prohibited. Don't be like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he has given you the blessings, what is your responsibility is that, I mean, use them, but use it in a certain, like, in a good condition. I mean, just don't do israf, don't do like too much. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us and the hadayah, and we need to differentiate the good and the bad. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us this, furqan, as it's in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the people who have the ability to differentiate the good and the bad. But nowadays, people, like, they don't have this ability to, just, they mix the good and the bad. I mean, if somebody is doing bad, it doesn't seem to be bad. I mean, nowadays, it doesn't seem to be bad, because how, how quickly and how fastly, how shaitan has put all these things so much into us, that we don't feel haram and we don't feel bad about what somebody's doing bad, because The difference between good and bad is just finished nowadays. So if you're walking on the path where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told you, it's not easy, my brothers and sisters, it's not easy. But the people who will follow this path, well, there will be really, really, it will be good for them from the hereafter. I mean, like, look, the thing that's permanent, of course, everybody runs towards it, right? Like, it's, you can say, a nature of a person that, we want a permanent house, we want a permanent car that's just yours, we want a permanent house that's just yours. So, but, it's the nature of the human being. But as we think that, oh, the hereafter is just going to be permanent forever, that's going to be yours. So, I mean, this is just, if you think for a moment and you just think for a moment that, we should work for that instead of working so hard for this dunya, as we have to live in this dunya, but our heart should be there. Our heart should be connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So try to read the Quran as much as you can as it's Ramadan. And it's the last nights, Laylatul Qadr. Just search for that night. It's only 4 nights. You just need to wake up and pray and connect to the to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this night, these nights, these just 4 nights are so special. I mean, like 1,000 nights. It's even better from the 1,000 nights. So of course nobody can do ibadah for 1,000 nights, and it's just these 4 days. If you do ibadah and you just wake up and you just read the Quran and pray, so what happens is that you will feel connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all your the wish you want, the good wishes which is inside yourself. Just talk to him, just connect with him. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make things easy for you and me and for everybody. And inshallah, by connecting to the Quran, your life will be more it will be more good, and you will feel less depressed and less away from the worldly things. As you know, these things are not permanent. These things are just, if you buy one thing today and the other day you will like, oh, okay, so I have it, so what should I do? And you will be in search of another thing the other day. So okay, inshallah, will be, well, this is just your choice, and you can do istikhara. So what happens is that whenever we are confused in our life, so what do? Is we just do istikhara. You can read this dua, Allahumma khirli wakhtarli. Allahumma khirli wakhtarli. This means that, oh Allah, choose what it's good for me. So you tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is what you can read the dua. You can read it all the time. You can do istikhara. Whatever is good for you, it will come to you. Okay. So it's not like you just put your mind and you're like, oh, I'm so confused, I don't know what to do. Whenever you're in this situation, just pray to him. This is the best answer. This is the best thing that you can do, is that just pray to him. Whenever you're confused in your life, you don't understand which way to go, and so you just put your trust first on Allah, and then you just keep on just pray to him. That's it. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.